The Obsession soundtrack. I literally cannot stop listening to this soundtrack. It's absolutely insane. I love it. I don't know if it's come at a moment in my life where I just really, really, really enjoy it. I don't know why, because it's ridiculous, right? It's like it's a horror soundtrack, but there are so many beats and like tunes in it that are just absolutely incredible. In this soundtrack is Obsession. I don't mind Nikki, that's not too bad. One Wish Willow's all right. Are You Okay? Not too bad either. Love Is in the Air Part 1. And I don't actually mind Love Is in the Air Part 2, although it's a bit creepy. And then Bear. So those I mean, all of the soundtracks incredible, but some of the soundtracks or sounds in the soundtrack obviously are typical, like what I would say is horror. And I don't know if it's because like I'm going through a bit of a transformation. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm sort of 35. Maybe I'm having a bit of an early midlife crisis. I don't know. But this soundtrack literally hits hard. And it puts you, it kind of elevates your thought process and where you are. And I love it. I'm here for it. I think it's great. And it really feels like just the Obsession soundtrack just hit me at the right time. Like I'm literally sitting there in the cinema watching a film and I've got goosebumps. But I mostly was from just the sound, like just the music. It really, really, really hit me in a way that, you know, music does sometimes do that to me, but like not like this. Like I've literally listened to a lot of these songs on repeat. Like even my other half is like, why do you keep listening to a horror film soundtrack? That seems a bit mad. So, you know, horror doesn't normally affect me like this. Obviously Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and all of those, they've all got like some iconic sounds to them, but not necessarily to the point where I really want to like listen to it over and over again like I have with Obsession. Funny enough, it's almost like I'm obsessed with Obsession soundtrack. Why is this sound different? I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. It's just the atmosphere, the tension that it gives. You know, you can be walking like around like a, you know, a park or a lake or whatever, and you're just listening to some of these, you know, some of the more mellow, nice kind of melody sounds. It's not the real creepy ones, because you might think someone's going to jump out of a bush at you, but some of the melodic ones that I was just said like on there, they just make you feel really euphoric in terms of where you think your life is at and what you're thinking about, and that's kind of what it does for me. And like I said, I think that's just because I'm going for a bit of a moment, you know, body game, reflecting more on my life, what I want to be, where I want to go. You know, obviously, like I said, I'm getting older, so maybe I'm having a bit of an early midlife crisis. Starting to really think about my purpose more, and, you know, thinking about my time. That's not something that I take lightly anymore. You know, it really means a lot to me. And I suppose probably in my 20s and before, you don't think about it before your 20s. And in your 20s, you just don't even think about it. You just think life's endless. So that's pretty crazy. But I'm not surprised that this soundtrack specifically has hit me, because I think it could have hit me at a different time in my life and maybe it wouldn't hit as much. So I feel like music definitely supports what you're feeling and thinking. And so this has come at a bit of a strange time for me in terms of the way that I'm thinking and feeling. I think that's why it's just elevated it so much more. And that's not to say that I don't think it's a good soundtrack, because I do. I just think it's really elevated the way that I feel about it. But again, it doesn't surprise me, because my dad loves music. Like, literally, he will play the same song over and over again. I remember when he played Coldplay Viva La Vida just over and over and over again. And, you know, it's interesting seeing that kind of rub off on now, like me. Obviously, you know, we're very, very similar. I will listen to the same song over and over again. But what's even funnier about it is that my kids that are now 6 and 3, they do the same thing. So, you know, my little girl's 6, she just loves music, always dancing, and she likes a lot of the music that I like as well. Not Obsession, don't worry. I haven't let them listen to Obsession. Like, you have to pick your moments, but there are a lot of tunes that I listen to, and like main music and stuff that, you know, you wouldn't expect your kids to potentially be invested in. They really like it. And it's really funny because I get a call off the other half when she's taking my son to nursery, and she's like, Abel wants to listen to the music with the guy that's sleeping. And if you want to know what that song is, I'll link it. But basically, this song came up. I was listening to it on my phone. It caught my son's eye, and he was looking at it, and he was like, Daddy, why does that look like Granddad sleeping? There's like an edit in the background of a guy kind of falling asleep. I knew exactly what he was talking about, But it's just so funny that the next day he's asking for another song and he's had to have it on repeat. He's like literally when he's been to his nan's, he's like asked for it to be played again. So, you know, it just is interesting seeing how some of those things that are just in other family members, they just kind of, they roll on to other members of the family, and it's really, really great to see. So I shared this video really just to one, say that I think the Obsession soundtrack's fantastic, and just why it kind of really hit me. Yeah, I had to talk about it, to be honest. I just had to talk about how it, you know, how it makes me feel. And so, yeah, anyway, this video was sponsored by absolutely nobody.